Today I'm out in the Utah desert to recreate the water tower shot. Was there a second shooter? Today we're going to find out.
There will be revelations.
That just blew this theory wide open.
Never before seen videos. Dark secrets exposed. This is actually more dangerous than this. And let me tell you why. And explosions. Today we'll be running our own live fire scenario if there was a second shooter on the water tower. This is independent research using commonly available Trump rally footage, as well as footage we've acquired directly from spectators that were in the audience that day. With hundreds of people filming Trump's rally speech at the time of the shooting, it's guaranteed that there's more footage out there. If you or someone you know has more footage that we can look at, please send it to conservativevibes@gmail.com. So why am I qualified to talk about this? Well, I'm a competitive shooter with a master's degree in digital media, but I can't do this alone. I need a second shooter. If only I knew an ex-military sniper. Oh, that's right, I do. Some say he's the first and only member of SEAL Team 11. And he was the first person to switch to his pistol because it's faster than reloading. But we only know him as the SIG.
The all-black gear was probably a poor choice on our part. It's supposed to be 100 degrees today. We just gave the SIG a sauna suit. The SIG is like Batman, shouldn't fight crime during the day. All right, good talk. Okay, we'll catch up.
So why do people believe that there was a second shooter in the first place? According to the acting director of the Secret Service, it's failure of imagination. It's just too unbelievable. For a 20-year-old to be spotted with a rangefinder and then lost in the crowd. For him to have flown a drone over the rally. For him to be within feet of local law enforcement and able to get off several shots on Trump before being taken out. The next big inconsistency is the audio. Now, in our last Trump shooting video, we recreated the audio from Trump's microphone with an AR-15 rifle fired from 147 yards away, and the audio was very similar.
Take a look at what happened.
But we got a lot of comments saying, look at this video. The first 3 shots are louder than the following 5. We're gonna call this the Pink Hat Lady video.
It's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Get down!
We'll be using a microphone and this sound level meter. This meter measures sound in decibels. We're going to use this in conjunction with the waveforms from the microphone from the video to match the sound signature as best as possible. Now, when we recorded the video, we were firing at a cardboard cutout of Trump. Admittedly, not a very good idea because YouTube did not like it. In fact, we got our first community guideline violation. So we can't show you the cardboard cutout getting shot, but we did have a camera on the decibel meter, as well as the SIG and I's rifles. So first I'm gonna fire 8 shots from 147 yards to get a baseline. Now, of course, we're shooting in a desert valley, so we're surrounded by rock and cliff face, so we're gonna have more echo than if we were shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania at the showgrounds.
I'm gonna send off a volley of 8.
Now, the 8 shots from the AR-15 all sounded pretty similar, but in the Pink Hat Lady video, you'll see something happens after the 3rd shot is fired. Now, the person recording is recording on a smartphone, and it looks like as the first shots are fired out, that they take cover down behind the people in front of them. They might even put their smartphone up to their chest. This will dampen and it will muffle the remaining shots. To test this theory, we put a sound dampening blanket up against the decibel meter and the camera's microphone. The wind did knock over the camera, but we're still able to hear the audio from the 5 muffled shots with the microphone up against a sound dampening blanket. Would covering or muffling the microphone lead to those 5 shots being quieter? We're just here to poke some holes in the theory. You decide if it holds water.
Take a look at what happened.
Let's talk about the rifles we'll be firing. This is an AR-15 shooting 5.56 ammunition. AR, despite what the left likes to say, does not stand for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite. The collapsible stock and the high round capacity of this rifle makes it hated and feared by the left. We are running a non-magnified red dot scope on this rifle. Now, the effective range of an AR-15 is 400 to 600 yards, well within the reach of where the shooter was to Trump, but is still an odd choice of weapon if Crooks was trying to be a sniper. The AR-15 is not commonly used as a sniper rifle. In talking about effective range, it's the maximum distance at which an average shooter can hit a human-sized target at least 50% of the time. For the AR-15, there's a lot of variables like the type of ammunition used, the properties of the barrel, and the skill of the shooter. So let's talk about the gun the SIG will be using, a gun more suited for a longer distance shot. This is a SIG Tread AR-10 rifle chambered in 7.62. Bigger bullet means bigger boom, means bigger sound when we record it on video. Now, the rifle itself is equipped with a bipod for better stabilization and a Vortex Crossfire 2 scope, which is variable. The effective range of this rifle is past 800 yards. Now, why aren't we using a bolt action sniper rifle like the Secret Service's counter sniper team? In reviewing the audio from the video and the rate of fire, it's just not possible for a bolt action rifle to shoot that quickly. Typically, to chamber a round, you would have to remove your hand from the trigger, chamber your round, lock it, and then return to shooting. Now, there are some world record bolt action shooters, but they're really sacrificing accuracy for speed. Now, semi-automatic sniper rifles do exist, but they're not preferred by professional snipers. Bolt action snipers have fewer moving parts, and the bolt mechanism locks the action down so that no gas escapes from the rear of the barrel. Bolt action rifles also give snipers more control over the loading process, making sure that a bullet is chambered and ready to fire. Now, the SIG will be firing from the same distance and elevation as the water tower, and I'll be shooting from the same position as the known shooter. Then we'll look at the audio analysis and see if it matches up. And stick around to see how it compares to the never before seen video. Will the audio match up with 2 rifles? The results might surprise you. While the SIG is getting set up, let's explore some of the other inconsistencies that make people wonder if this was an inside job with the second shooter. Strange that the officer that arrived on scene with his body camera on only counted 5 casings. Is it because he simply didn't notice the other casings? Or was he told or coached to say 8?
2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Limit who comes up here.
Strange that the speculation is that only 5 shots were fired by Crooks, and initially only 5 casings were noted. Strange how far away the rifle was from the shooter's body. Now, the team that arrived on scene had medical training. They're an EMS unit. Did they place the rifle farther from the shooter to begin administering emergency care?
Oh, you'll be good. You can go down a little bit farther. There's somebody has hand.
Strange that Secret Service couldn't fly a drone of their own due to poor cell service. The drone that I fly is a DJI, the same as the shooter's drone. Even in the middle of the desert with no Wi-Fi, no cell connection, I'm still able to take it up to 400 feet, no problem. And as the acting Secret Service director said, there's no explanation for why the Secret Service was not able to get a drone in the air.
Director Rowe, can you explain why the shooter's drone worked?
Because there was no counter UAS present, sir.
Well, you had a drone system, but you had bandwidth problems. The bandwidth apparently was adequate for the shooter's drone, but not for the Secret Service. Can you explain that?
I have no explanation for it, sir.
The shooter flew his drone at 3:51 p.m. The Secret Service were supposed to have launched their drone at 3 p.m. You're telling me the Secret Service gets $3 billion a year, but they can't fly a drone because of cell service? When I can go out and get a drone for $800 and fly it all day, every day in the middle of nowhere? You're telling me this $800 drone defeated a $3 billion a year budget? To tell you how ludicrous it is that they couldn't launch a simple drone, let's talk about the sniper rifles that the Secret Service uses. They're called JAR rifles, or just another rifle. They are custom made to the length and preference of the sniper. They are tens of thousands of dollars. Yet they can't launch a counter drone against a fairly affordable, commercially available drone. It's inexcusable. Strange that the Secret Service had no communication with or morning briefing with the local Beaver County team. As one of the snipers as interviewed put it, that never happens. Strange that any person that's visited the site can see that the water tower is the highest structure and most defendable. Even the acting Secret Service director said high ground is a must. So why was no team stationed on the water tower? Strange that someone allegedly left their post when they could have simply peered outside and seen the shooter upon the roof. In my humble opinion, this is actually more dangerous than this, and let me tell you why. An AR-15 with a non-magnified red dot scope is not as big of a threat as a drone rigged with explosive payload. Now, commercial drones like these aren't really rigged to carry a payload. They're basically made to just carry their own weight. But there are commercially available cinema drones that can carry a heavier payload, like a remote operated explosive device.
For $1,000 on Amazon today, you can buy a drone that can support 6 pounds and fly over 2 miles to drop a payload. This is accessible to anyone with access to Amazon and a credit card.
With how far technology has advanced and how far behind Secret Service has fallen, the shooter didn't need an AR-15. All he needed was a drone rigged with explosives to drop down onto the former president.
This can be used not only for surveillance by the shooter, which obviously it was here, but also drones can be weaponized and be used as a threat to the president, or in this case, the President Trump. Do you have the capacity to stop a weaponized drone?
What I will tell you, sir, is that we have technical security measures that we utilize at permanently protected sites. We also have the ability, in a limited fashion, at temporary sites. What I can tell you is that on this day, the counter-UAS system had technical difficulties and did not go operational until after 5 o'clock.
So in this case, the shooter had a rifle, but somebody who wanted to kill a president for a former president or candidate for president would not need a rifle. They could use a drone, correct?
It is a potential threat vector.
Now, if the shooter was indeed using a DJI branded drone, that's even worse. See, DJI has restricted areas. They're the no-fly zones over airports, oil fields, prisons. Talking about prisons specifically, it's restricted because they don't want people dropping drug paraphernalia into the prison walls. All Secret Service had to do was request restricted airspace above the Trump rally. Another failure, another thing that they did not do. Maliciousness, negligence, you decide. Now, there is the open window theory speculating that the second shooter fired from the second story.
And then I'm also going to show you video from inside of that room to be able to show you the view outside that room and the possibility of there being a second shooter in general, but even more specifically, a second shooter inside of that room. Because I'll be honest with you, if I was a sniper trying to take out Trump in a urban area like this, which really this is, anytime that we have structures, this is urban sniping, right? Where you typically want to be is in the rear of a room, or even in a next room, looking through one room, through a window, through your target, so that all that distance gives you a loophole to shoot through, and it obscures your sound signature as well as muzzle blast.
But as Paramount Tactical states, a sniper would want to be within the building as far as 2 rooms back to hide muzzle flash and sound. Spectators below didn't see anyone sticking out of the open window, and unless they were, there's no way that those shots could have rung out louder than the AR-15 in front of them. So for now, we're going to discount that theory, but if you'd like us to test it, leave a comment down below.
Now, one of the things I wanted to mimic was being under duress, the anxiety of taking the shot. So I brought along a shot collar for dogs. Levels 1 through 16. Try level 10. I think I have to touch these metal prong things. Ow, shit! Who's handling the remote? The SIG? Siggy, baby, I know I put you in a sauna suit, but could you keep it below 10? This was a bad idea. So I'll be right here. Siggy will be over there on the water tower. Hey Sig, do you copy? Over. A radio was a bad idea. Can you give me a thumbs up? Roger that. That was the naughty finger. How rude. Hey, Sid, can you do a test shot? I just want to see what it feels like from here. Oh, that was not a 10. That was not a 10. Oh my gosh. All right, Sig, I'm following your lead. Send it. Ah! Too late! Ah! The anticipation of the shock was worse than the actual shock itself. Oh my gosh.
Let's put our audio on this Trump rally footage and see if it matches up.
Take a look at what happened. Take a look at what happened. Take a look at what happened. Take a look at what happened.
Now for the spectator video that wasn't filtered through news media, wasn't touched by the deep state.
Take a look at what happened.
Hey! 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 Down! Take it! Protect the president!
Fuck was that shit?
Protect him! Protect the president!
Hey, dude, chill out.
No. Fuck, take a bullet. He's our guy, right? That's what the country is. That is what it is.
We all have kids.
Sorry, I have 3 kids. I didn't make the rules.
Holy shit. My phone was recording with that. Jesus Christ. What the fuck was that?
Let's see how the audio compares.
Take a look at what happened.
Hey! 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 Hey!
Take a look at what happened. Take a look at what happened.
Now something really interesting happened with the sound level meter. Both gunshots from the AR-10 and the AR-15 on average were about the same within 1 to 2 decibels. You can see here that the AR-10 peaked at 90 decibels and the AR-15 peaked at 89.7. Across all shots, AR-10, AR-15, the decibel level was about equal, but the waveforms are just different. And if you really listen, it just sounds different. In my opinion, the AR-15 is a sharper staccato sound, where the AR-10 has a bigger boom and more of a sustained shock wave. Now let's look at our audio waveforms from our shots. We were shooting in a rocky desert valley, so there's going to be a lot more echo after each shot than as if we were at Butler, Pennsylvania. But what we're looking for are matching sound signatures for all 8 shots. Here's 8 shots of the AR-15 at 147 yards. All very similar, all the sound signatures appear to be from the same rifle, similar to the findings of Mike Bell. Let's listen to 3 shots from the AR-10 and 3 shots from the AR-15. Now you'll notice that the waveforms look different. The sound signatures are different. That's because there truly are 2 different rifles being used in this situation. Now the SIG was shooting from a higher elevation and a longer distance from the microphone, so that could also account for the change in the sound signature. To show how much the distance delays the shot of the second shooter, here's the audio from just the GoPro cameras that were mounted to the rifles. Now let's listen to the water tower recreation. 3 shots from a second shooter and 5 from Crooks. Here we go. When a waveform is skinnier, it's a sharper, quicker sound, which we see in this AR-15 that is closer to the mic position next to Trump. Now, one of the things we didn't cover were bullet trajectories. We didn't have a stage and stand set up. But I think Mike Bell has a really fair approach to this, how the trajectory doesn't really make that much sense if there was a second shooter coming from the water tower or even the second story window.
So the top 8 look like the same weapon, the same pattern, and then the bottom one is a different pattern.
And why are people saying that there are multiple shooters?
In other audio, the sound can vary between the shots. And I guess that's what's given impetus to the idea that there might have been multiple weapons. I can't accept that it was just a lone gunman who got lucky on the day.
So that shows, that's kind of proof that all the bullets came from the same spot. Because if they came from the other side, or some people are saying there were shots coming from a water tower or something. Where is that water tower?
Okay.
Oh, it's over there. Okay.
Yeah. So some people were saying that on top of the water tower, I mean, they see a blob and the blob moves, and they are just imagining stuff. I mean, people desperate to have some alternative narrative.
If there was a shot from the water tower, then it would have a bigger delay between when the sonic boom passes the mic and the sound wave passes the mic.
Yes. And the other reason why that's complete nonsense. The guy wouldn't have had a shot because it's blocked by the big screen. It's an impossible shot. Okay, then the other shot that people are talking about is this one over here, which is from this window, and this is the view. So, and they would have certainly from this view seen Crooks, and supposedly in these offices should have been security people. And they would have seen the stage, but it doesn't really make any sense.
Well, then they couldn't have hit his ear from that angle, it doesn't look like.
Yeah, it would have been difficult. And also, the shot doesn't go past any of the victims. The victims were over there. There was the fatality. And here was David Dutch standing over here, and then James Copenhagen, who was sitting over there, or standing, we're not sure. So we know those are the 3 victims, which line up with the shot coming from Crooks, and the shot out the window doesn't go anywhere. That makes sense with what we see. And I'm sure once these are debunked, they will start to look for other locations to try and invent a narrative.
Something happened as we were reenacting this live fire scenario. Something that happened every single time we ran through this sequence and this volley of shots. Now we can't show you the Trump cardboard cutout, but we do have some paper targets that we were using for practice fire before we started filming. You'll notice that my shots are kind of all over the place. But if you look at the SIG shots, his shots never missed. Always a kill shot, and that was every single time. To me, that is the biggest hole in the second shooter theory. If Crooks was just the patsy, the fall guy, the distraction, then how did the second shooter miss? If this was an inside job, if this was the deep state, wouldn't the second shooter be a professional marksman with a precision rifle? If there was a second shooter, then he also missed. If there was a second shooter up on that water tower, he essentially had all the time in the world to sight in on Trump and wait for the perfect opportunity. For that second shooter to miss as well is almost as unbelievable as a 20-year-old penetrating the Secret Service's security perimeter. Maybe Trump did have the hand of God on his shoulder that day to help him turn his head just enough to avoid gunfire from 2 shooters. Or was it the lone wolf theory? Crooks had Googled Trump's schedule as well as Biden's, as well as a royal family member. He had researched Harvey Lee Oswald and the JFK shooting, and he'd researched a recent school shooting. Was this a troubled, sick man that wanted to go out in a blaze of glory using the most villainized rifle in modern media? In fact, in the recent hearing, it's all the left could even talk about.
This was an AR-15 style rifle manufactured by a company named Panther Arms.
And once again, many of the persons involved in these kinds of mass shootings use this particular kind of weapon. We know from similar hearings that the Judiciary Committee has had that we are a nation awash in guns. In your view, shouldn't we be doing more to prevent the easy accessibility of these kinds of firearms in our country?
Senator, we're focused on collecting the facts here, and I'm not going to comment on something like that.
Lone wolf, second shooter, we've poked the holes. You tell us if it holds water.
Now, we did promise you an explosion, so what we did is we played a clip of Kamala Harris's cackling laughter to the decibel meter, and it overloaded.
Not today.
We hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to support the channel, we made Trump's epic fight picture even more epic. Available as a t-shirt, bumper sticker, or yard sign. Click the link below or visit conservativevibes.com, made in the USA. Please like, share, and subscribe to Conservative Vibes, and we'll see you next time.